no, my chili.
Hey Jim, have you seen my favorite pen?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think this is funny? Michael,
What is it, Dwight?
Jim put my stuff in Jell-O again. As assistant regional manager.
Assistant to the regional manager, you mean?
I shouldn't have to put up with these kinds of shenanigans for my inferior.
Actually, according to the organizational management chart, we're on the same field of management.
Really, Jim? Have you ever fought a bear? Because I've fought a bear, which makes me the alpha male. Women's primal instincts attract them to my pheromones. Jim likes to mess with me, but when the apocalypse comes and society inevitably falls apart, I'll come out victorious. The Schrutes have been preparing for the inevitable collapse since 1920.
Dwight, this is an office. There are no bears.
Bears are everywhere. The forest, the ocean. I've even seen one in...
Conference room in 5 minutes. Be ready to get hip hop, hippity hop, y'all. So, in honor of Black History Month, Daryl and I are giving a presentation on Black history and, more importantly, Black culture. I know I'm white, but I've seen Fresh Prince before, so I think I know. Pam, now! In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground of most of my days. So, in honor of Black History Month, our urban friend Daryl is going to be making a trip up from the warehouse to give us a presentation. Isn't that exciting? Hey, what's up, Daryl? Huh? What's that? Oh, you can't make it? You have to work? Lame. Okay, well, it looks like Daryl can't come in, but he was nice enough to provide us with a PowerPoint, which I have shared with you on all of your Chromebooks. Yeah, this PowerPoint's only full of boring stuff. I guess I'm gonna have to freestyle it. My improv classes will finally pay off.
Michael, this stuff seems pretty important.
Yeah, the Great Migration seems like a pretty important part of Black history.
Well, Pam, I just don't see how birds flying south for the winter seems very important to African American culture.
Well, according to the PowerPoint, the Great Migration was the relocation of more than 6 million African Americans from the rural South to the urban North.
Confined to all-black neighborhoods, African Americans created cities within cities during the 1920s. The largest was Harlem, in Upper Manhattan, where 200,000 African Americans lived in a neighborhood that had been virtually all white 15 years before.
Yeah, but it also says they were a threat of violence, and many secured better educations and futures for themselves and their children while adapting to the drastically different requirements of industrial cities. That sounds pretty roaring, if you ask me.
That sounds pretty important.
It says African Americans got paid 3 times more in the North than in the South. The Great Migration seems pretty great.
The Great Migration was awful. The South was left without labor. Think of all the lost beet farms, Jim. And many African Americans had trouble finding housing anyway, because donkey-brained dimwits like you wouldn't rent to them.
This is too much history and not enough culture. Let's see what else Dizzy D has to offer. Let's see if the Harlem Renaissance is popping like me on the dance floor.
It's pronounced Renaissance, Michael.
Well, Jim, since you're so fancy and can pronounce large words, why don't you come up here and give the presentation for me?
Fine, I will.
No, Jim, you know nothing.
No,
I'll do it.
Dwight, sit down. I haven't chose either of you to give the presentation. Let's just see what urban funk is on the next slide.
I actually had an ancestor live in Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance, a time in the 1920s where black music, art, and culture flourished. He played jazz with Louis Armstrong.
It's Louis, you idiot.
They grew up in New Orleans, colored waifs home for boys together. He played with Louis on his Hot 5 and Hot 7 recordings. It was pretty roaring.
Michael, all of this stuff seems pretty important. I don't think Daryl would want you to skip over any of it. It says the Harlem Renaissance influenced future generations of black writers. Poets like Langston Hughes led the Harlem Renaissance and promoted black pride.
It says, although it was a long time coming, this continued promotion of black media and culture eventually led to economic and educational opportunities. You probably shouldn't skip this slide, Michael.
Harlem brought notice to great works that might otherwise have been lost or never produced. The results were phenomenal. The artists of the Harlem Renaissance undoubtedly transformed African American culture.
Well, due to your long spiel, I'm gonna move on to the next slide. What were the sweet trials? Oh, hey Pam, you're pretty sweet.
Oh, I remember learning about those in history class.
Okay, well, if you're such an expert, Pam, why don't you come up and teach us all about black history?
These trials were actually super important. Dr. Ocean Sweet, an African American, moved into a white Detroit neighborhood in 1925. He was worried about his family being victims of anti-black violence, so he purchased guns and ammunition and asked his brothers and friends to move in. A mob showed up at his house and began to chant racial slurs. Shots were fired from the top floor of the house.
That's quite enough storytelling for today, Pam.
Wait, but that's crazy. How did I never know about this? What happened to him?
After the incident, Ocean Sweet claimed innocence, and after an initial mistrial, the jury declared him not guilty. Considering the great stress he and his family endured, this was a sweet outcome.
Okay, well, I guess that's enough. I guess you guys just don't want to learn about black culture and Black History Month.
Per usual, we got nothing done today. But I still find some stuff about work that I enjoy. I like to come here. Finals for the Office Rock, Paper, Scissors tournament. Ready, Dwight?
I'm ready.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ready?
One more.
Paper, scissors, gun.
That's not part of the rules.
I made the rules.
I am the regional champion of Scranton Rock, Paper, Scissors Club. I know the rules.
He won't be the regional champion for long.